guys, it's Keisha Sando here, the founder of Authentic Profitable Practice, which is a group coaching program to help therapists like you start from the ground up to build a successful and profitable therapy practice. Today, we are going to be talking about the topic of elevation. Now, this is something that's really been dear and near to my heart with over probably the last couple of months. All of a sudden, I just feel like I was getting in my spirit the word elevation. And so I started to really think about, what does elevation look like for me? What does it look like for my family? What does it look like for my coaching clients, for my clients as a therapist? What does elevation look like? And so as I started to really think about this, really, the idea of elevation has so many different components. So what I'm going to do starting today, I am actually going to break down each letter of the word elevation for, I believe it's the next 9 days. So today we're going to talk about that first letter of elevation, and it really has to do with excitement. Now, before I really get into it, if you are with me, then that means that you really, really want to build your therapy practice. It also might mean that you have a dream or a goal to start your therapy practice, but for whatever reason, you have not gotten started just yet. Now, there could be so many different reasons. It could be maybe because you're still working on completing your provisional licensure. And it could also be because maybe there were some things that happened in your life that kind of put a pause on what it was that you wanted to do in terms of building that therapy practice. It could also mean that you've just been scared. Maybe you just really been wanting to do it, but you just really have had so much fear and just so much tension around the idea of getting started and how is it going to flow? What if I mess up? Trust me, I know I've been there already before. So we are going to be talking about how to elevate yourself, how to elevate your practice. And of course, even if you have not started your therapy practice, that's even good, because that means you're going to start really, like I said, from the ground up, and you're going to work towards elevation in your therapy practice as you are developing it. Now, when I come up with the word elevation, the first letter obviously is E. And when I was thinking about just like the terms of elevation and what it really means, in terms of building your therapy practice, it might kind of sound common, but the first word that came to me was excitement, because it's going to be that very thing that helps you to continue moving through all of the to-dos, all of the certain protocols that you have to follow when you're actually building your therapy practice. Now, what happens is that a lot of times I see that a lot of people get overwhelmed because they just realize that there's so many different details that they have to, make sure that they cover or make sure that they touch on. So that tends to be the overshadowing thing that causes people to not actually build their therapy practice. But guess what? Instead of looking at what is it that could happen to me in a negative sense if I build my therapy practice, actually look at what are the positive things that could change. What are some things that could cause my life to be completely different if I were to build this therapy practice in the way that I dream? Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is security. I can get excited about having financial security if I'm building my therapy practice. Why? Because I know that as I'm building my therapy practice, I have the leisure to be able to set up things, even from a financial sense, of the way that I want it to be, because I'm looking at my own personal goals, my own personal things that I'm working on. And I know that I can look at the numbers and I can actually establish my budget. I can establish my rates and all that based upon what I believe that I need. And so that also is going to make me be really, really excited. How about that freedom? How about the freedom that you have in your therapy practice, guys? I know you guys want that freedom, because that was one of the main things that I wanted before I started my therapy practice. We're talking about me having kids, and then me not being able to, take my kids to certain appointments, or having to ask for permission, or whatever the case is. You guys know that if you're working in this industry, freedom is one of the main things that you really, really feel like you need, or you feel like you really desire. I know I'm not alone in that. So guess what? We can get excited about having the freedom in our therapy practice, and that can be motivation for you to continue taking those steps towards building your therapy practice. Okay. Now, I also want you guys to be thinking about the excitement of which probably should be number one in terms of why you even getting into it, is the ability to change other people's lives. Now, we know as therapists, we are not necessarily changing the lives, but we are an influence to the people that we work with. We are a sense of support and a guidance. We also provide that insight to people that we are working with, and ultimately their lives are being changed. So with the skills that you have, with the talents that you have, with that passion that you have, what is it that you are able to accomplish? Now, if you're even listening to me right now, that means you've already identified that there's something inside of you that can make a change in someone else's life, or else you wouldn't be sitting here listening to me right now. That's one thing I know, that you do believe that you have it inside of you already, right? So with that being said, get excited about the change that can come about, the change that would be produced as a result of you working with those clients that you desire to work with in your future. So yes, we know that we can get excited about things that can benefit ourselves, that can benefit our family and our friends. But of course, we can also get excited about making an impact in other people's lives. Isn't that the reason why we got into this business in the first place? Like, if we really be honest with ourselves, that is the reason why we got into it, because we had a heart for other people. We knew that we had something inside of us, even if it was just a desire to help, that was something that was placed inside of us. So we can get excited about the opportunity to be able to touch another person's life. And that is something that we should not take for granted. If you have that ability to help someone else, to support someone else, trust me, you can do it. And that can actually make such a major impact, not even just in your life or that person's life, but then think about the connections that they have with other people. We are making a change in the world. We are. You need to start thinking about what your life would be like if you were to start your therapy practice. So that's essentially what I want you to start doing. Write down a list of things that you believe you would be able to do, things that you will be able to have, ways that you can impact other people, whether it's individuals or communities or even systems in this world. How could things come about in terms of a change? How could life be different for you as well as be different for other people? I want you to take that into consideration, because that, in fact, is true. That is really what happens when you are a therapist, when you're working in your own therapy practice. You have all of those things that we talked about today. So get excited. Get excited today about starting your therapy practice. Get excited about building your therapy practice. I know that you have these dreams, you have these visions of your life, of what your practice should look like. You have the ability to do it, right? So get excited about those things. One thing I'm going to also add is that if you are not excited about what it is that you are trying to do, if you're not excited about building your own therapy practice, what makes you think that other people are going to be excited for you? And so maybe you may have this situation as well, where you have this dream and this desire to start your own therapy practice, but you may have some naysayers around you. I'm here to touch on that too. You got to do it for yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. We have to get to a place where we're not making excuses any longer. It's time out for the excuses. Let's get these things done. Let's take the necessary steps that we need in order to build our therapy practice, in order to make it successful, in order to have the life that we know that we should have. All right. So today, think about elevation. Think about elevation. How can you elevate yourself? How can you start to elevate your therapy practice? Start by looking at what you can get excited about. What is the reason why you got into this field? What are the things that you saw that could change in yourself and in others? And get ready to elevate yourself and get ready to elevate your therapy practice. Now, if you did not know, of course, you know we have a coaching program, but we do have an 8-week online course that will be starting very, very soon. All right, so it's going to be starting very, very soon. I want you to look at the link below, get the information for our up and coming 8-week online course. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have group coaching. You're also, if you do it this season, you're going to actually get 2 free 30-minute individual coaching sessions with your girl, Keisha Sando, and I'm excited to be working with you guys. It's in that 8-week online coaching service. We are going to be talking about everything therapy practice. So we're going to be talking about your money. We're going to be talking about your scheduling. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about looking at your ideal client. We're going to be talking about systems, documentation, all of those questions that you tend to have, even insurance, cash pay, all of those different thoughts that you have about what should I do? What do I need to include in my therapy practice? We also have 3 mini bonus courses there as well within that coaching services. So I want you to click the link below, and I cannot wait to see you join the course. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.